What's going on, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. This is Web Dev Journey. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to deploy using Kubernetes, right? How to deploy our Docker image using Kubernetes. And I'm here to give you that answer. I am here for you guys. All right. So first of all, I am going to talk about what is Kubernetes and why we should use it. Okay. Now with Kubernetes, all right. Before I even get into that, let's start off with just Docker. All right. We have this Docker image or this Docker container containing our application, right? And we're having too much traffic getting into it, right? So we have to add more services. So we need to tell Docker, hey Docker, we need to spawn 2 more services, right? So Docker spawns 2 more services. But now the problem with this is that obviously we need to redirect traffic to each one of these. So we need a load balancer. Yay, load balancer. By the way, we're doing all this manually, right? We're adding that load balancer. We're telling Docker to do all these services, and we're telling the load balancer, hey, we have these 3 services, do your thing, right? All right. Now, we figured out that this is still too much. I mean, there's still too much traffic. We do need to respawn more instances. And here we go again. We gotta tell Docker, hey, just spawn 2 more. Let's see if this does it. And over here, the load balancer, we gotta tell load balancer, hey, we got 2 more services. And it'll do its thing, right? Now, like, I know we do this, man. As developers, we don't really check our services. So at some point at time, 3 of them go down. We don't know when because we never keep track. We don't have logs or anything like that. Nah, I'm playing. It's a joke. Obviously, we do that stuff. But, you know, there's some times that we do misstep and we just forget about checking our services at time to time. And let's say that 3 of them go down, right? Well, that sucks. That sucks. Now our traffic is only into 2 services and it's just a headache, right? Now we got to tell, hey, restart these services and make sure the load balancer is giving traffic to all the 5 services again, right? So this right here is just a headache, right? It's just a headache. Doing all this thing manually is just a headache. So here's where Kubernetes sets in. Kubernetes actually does the load balancing for us, right? Load balancing for us. It actually does the instances for us. We just need to tell it, hey, we want 10 instances. It'll do 10 instances, right? Oh, never mind. We only want 5 instances. It'll cut those 5 instances down and load balance between the 5. I mean, it does a lot of the heavy work for us. Also, monitor checking, right? It'll do that for us too. If a service goes down, it'll restart that. And it'll make sure that the load balancing also goes to that restarted service, right? It does that as well. It does. I'm telling you, it's a great little tool. It's a huge tool. It's a great tool to use, okay? Awesome tool. That's why we use it, because it takes a lot of the headache out for us. Now, we are going to need to install Kubernetes, and there are a few ways to do it, right? I'm going to use Docker Desktop for that, the Docker Desktop application. If you want to do it on your own, like actually install it on your computer, man, good luck with that. It's just a pain in the rear. I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to use Docker Desktop. If you want to follow me, open up your Docker Desktop. Go to settings, right? And then in resources, make sure at least give it 6 CPUs. I give it the whole 8. I give it the whole 8 CPUs that I have. Just make sure you have at least 6, because remember, Kubernetes does take, you're running Docker and Kubernetes at the same time. And I don't know about you guys, but I want things to run smoothly. So that's why I gave it all my CPUs. You could do it with 6 as well. It'll run smooth. I'm just giving it 8 just to be on the safe side. My memory, I gave it 10 gigs, swap 2.5. You know, just being the safe side, right? Just give it as much as you can. Obviously, if you're not doing it, if you're not going to be doing this as much, don't give it too much. Just, you know, whatever. Just the CPUs and memory does really matter. Just give it 6 at least, and memory at least 10. Once you hit apply and restart, it's going to take a while. So just pause the video, you know, relax, go get some chips, you know, some coffee actually. Get some coffee, drink it up, you know. After that's done, go to Kubernetes, enable Kubernetes, hit apply and restart. And that's going to take a while. Don't worry about it. It will take a while. But once it's done, you should have Kubernetes on your desktop. Now, the only way to make sure, to make sure you do have Kubernetes, just type in kubectl, and it should give you a list of all the commands you could do with Kubernetes. kubectl is the CLI for Kubernetes. It'll give you a list of commands that you could do. If you see this, that means that you have kubectl or Kubernetes running on your computer, which is great, which is awesome. That's what we need, right? Now, there is one more thing we do need to install, and that is Helm. Okay, Helm is literally what's it called? A package manager for Kubernetes. And let's go back to the over here. I already have it running, or I already have it right here. I will have this this link down below in the description, so that way you can just copy and paste it and just go here directly. Whatever. Why am I even giving you so much detail on that? I have no idea. Anyways, here's how you install Helm for Mac, for Windows, Debian, Ubuntu, whatever. If you want to, it says right here, if you want to live on the edge, you could do a kernel version. I thought that was pretty funny. But anyways, yeah, install Helm. We are going to be using it. Now, I am going to talk a little bit about Helm. There is going to be a video down below on a better, I guess they're going to explain what Helm is way better than I do, what I'm about to do, right? And she does a very good job on it. She does a very good job on it. Okay, so check that video out if you're more interested on like what is Helm. But I'm gonna give you a brief definition. Like I said, Helm is a package manager for Kubernetes, and Kubernetes uses a lot of YAML files. Okay, it uses a lot of YAML files. Okay. Now these YAML files get super complicated and super tedious to do. So let's say that I'm trying to do a Kubernetes on a database server, right? I'm trying to run Kubernetes on my DB, and I'm running, I don't know, it doesn't really matter what DB. And I figured out that, hey, there's actually a repository that has all the YAML files for this certain DB. All I have to do is just download those, or, you know, install those, and just use those YAML files, just, you know, configure it just a little bit to make it work with my application, and that is it. Someone already took the time to do all these YAML files for us, and all I have to do is download them and use them over here for my DB. That's what Helm is, right? Helm is just a like npm. I don't know why I did a K. Helm is just okay. Why can't I write? Why am I erasing now? Damn it, dude. Oh boy. See that? It's erasing. I don't want to erase. Can you stop, please? Okay, I got it working. All right, Helm is just what I was saying. Oh yeah, Helm. Helm is our package manager. So to install this, or to get these YAML files for the certain DB, I'm going to be using Helm and just install it like a package manager, like you would like any other package manager, right? It's just a package manager. It's as simple as that, guys. I'm not gonna go into details about Helm that much, but it's really, really good. Anyways, all right. Now we have Kubernetes and Helm installed on our desktop. Now is actually time to do some stuff, all right? And honestly, guys, this is going to be a short video. Well, somewhat short. It's very simple. They took a lot of the things that we need to do out. So yeah. All right, let's go back to that GitHub repo to see what we need to do next. So if you go to cloudnative.yes, scroll all the way down, view on GitHub, and then here you go. So we do need to install this, or download this thing, because we're going to be using the chart nodeserver file. So just, you know, download zip. I've already downloaded it, and go to desktop right here. Right here, I unzipped it, Helm master, and what we need to do is actually just copy this chart into our application. So just grab this chart, grab the chart, copy folder, and there we go. We have chart inside of our application. Now let me talk a little bit about what's going on in here, okay? So get rid of this, and it actually tells you what the files are. Is down here. It tells you what the files are, okay? So chart.yaml is literally just a definition file for your application. That is it. Nothing special there. It's just a definition file. Values.yaml, this is where you actually do need to pay attention. Values.yaml is the configurable values that are inserted into the following template files, which are these down here. Now, these template files, these are the files that Kubernetes use to actually deploy your application the way you want it to deploy. These two files is what Helm uses to just insert the values that you have in here into these templates. Helm does use a template engine, and that's why people like Helm a lot, because look at all these files that we need just to run this application. Helm grabs all the values from here, and all of these values they're used in all of these templates, and all it does is just reads it from the values and it just injects them into the right spot for these files. So we don't really have to do that manually. That would suck if we did that manually. That's why some people like, well, a lot of people like Helm, because it does that for us. And let's actually take a look over here. So right here we have the chart.yaml, which is our description file for our application. Doesn't really matter, our values, right? And like I said, whatever you put in here, our templates down here is going to be using it. As you can see right here, this is using the .chart.name, which is in our charts right here, .name. So it's going to be using that value for this right here. I'm just telling you, it's just injecting values into this. If we had to do this manually, which if you didn't have Helm, yeah, you would have to do this manually. You would have to put nodeserver right here, nodeserver right here. It's just it's a headache, right? So that's why we have Helm. That's another reason why we have Helm. Package managing and also doing this crap for us as well. Anyways, enough about that. The only thing we need to do once you have this chart copied into this your application, the only thing we need to do to make this application work is change one value inside of the values.yaml, and that's the repository, the image repository. What image are we going to be using, to run our application? What Kubernetes needs to know what image you're going to be using, so that way it spawns the right image, the right application, right? And we already have that, obviously. It's in our Docker Hub. This is why we have the Docker Hub. That's why we need it, right? And you need the namespace and the name of the image. In this case, we called ours nodeserver. So I'm going to just copy this, which is my namespace plus the nodeserver. You could definitely use the same one if you wanted to as well. If you didn't upload it to your Docker Hub, you could use my image. It does not really matter. So go back to the file, and right here we're going to replace that. This is the repository we want to be using. There we go. And the tag, make sure the tag is a tag that you actually want, which the only tag we have for it is 1.0.0 right there, 1.0.0. If this was latest, you would want to put latest right here. Where's it at? Right here. And that is it. This is literally all we needed to do to make our application or deploy our application using Kubernetes. Now Kubernetes knows what image to actually deploy, and it has a little bit of more information down here. Like I said, guys, if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty, you do need to read the documentations of Kubernetes, because this is going to be, Kubernetes is a big tool that you're going to be using if you do use it, and it's just a lot of things that you could do with Kubernetes. So I would suggest you guys get familiarized with the files and the things you could add in here for your Kubernetes. But basically, like I said, Helm is a package manager for Kubernetes, and this is just a package. By the way, for Helm, they actually call it charts. Packages are called charts. So for Helm, it's charts. And they actually gave us this chart to actually run our application, which we needed to change one thing. If this wasn't the case, we would have to, do this manually, all this manually, which would suck. But anyways, once you do change your repository, you could actually run your application. Let's run our application. Let's go back to the GitHub to see what else we need to do. So we've already changed our repo. Going down. Here we go. Using the chart to deploy your application to Kubernetes. I was going to say Kubernetes, but Kubernetes. All right. So if you did install Helm at this time, when I'm telling you in this video, during this video, you are going to have version 3. If you did it before, you might want to check what version you have, version 2 or version 3, because the commands aren't the same. Okay, so if you do have version 3, you're going to be running it with me. Okay, so to run the charts or to run your application, you do need to be inside the directory that contains the chart YAML file. So the directory that contains the chart YAML file is that chart node server directory. You have to be right here to actually run that command, but I'm not, as you can see right now. I am not. I am in cloud native. So what I'm gonna do is literally just say helm install, and this is where you're going to give it a name, whatever name you want to give your application, or so that way Kubernetes knows. You could give it whatever you want. Obviously, I'm gonna just go with the server, node server, you know, keep everything consistent. But this is just a name, right? This is just a name. It doesn't really matter. And what we want to do is say, we want to point to that charts or to that file. So charts, node server, and there you go. So what this is doing, let me actually show you, explain what this is doing. We're going to be installing or using the chart.yaml file right here to actually tell us what Kubernetes needs to do, right? It's going to be reading these two documentations or these two files, the chart and the values. So over here, we're just saying that, hey, we want to use the chart node server, the chart, whatever files are in this directory, and we're going to just call it node server. So if you press enter, you should get this. Okay, you should get this. Don't worry about this stuff right here down here, because honestly, this is matter of fact, if you go back to the GitHub, don't worry about any of this down here, because it's not going to help you out one bit. It's not. If you have version 3, this is not going to help you out that much. Okay. So, anyways, let's go back over here. I'm actually going to be this. We're going to need this. So to figure out if this is actually running clear, you could actually grab the command from the GitHub and then paste it right here, and it will tell you, okay, in Helm you have something running called node server, and you have the status is deployed, which is good, right? That's actually good. Now there is going to be a command. I will have this command down in the description below. So this command is going to tell you a lot of things, right? This is actually using kubectl to get this information, right? So the name, the service that we're running is node server, and it tells us the port that we're using, right? That we want to be using. And right here, it tells you a lot of things, right? So if you do, just use this command. This is way better, right? It will tell you a couple of things. One thing is that we do have one service actually running and it's available. That means that it's actually running and it hasn't crashed. So it's all good, right? And it also tells us the port that we need to be in to actually view that application. So if I copy this port is going to be different for you. If I copy this port and go back to our browser, let's type in localhost, not 3000, but that port that it gave us. You should see that application right there. You should see your application running, which we do. It's working. We have our application running with Kubernetes, which is a good thing. And that's basically it, right? That's it. We have it running. We have Kubernetes running. Now I am going to teach you a little bit of things, or a little bit of stuff you could do with Kubernetes. So let's get right to that. But yeah, look how simple that was. We already have our applications running with Kubernetes. It was that simple, guys. Using Helm and Kubernetes together, boy, does it make your life easier. If we were just using straight up Kubernetes, this video would be longer, but it's not because of Helm. Thank you, Helm. All right, anyways, the things that I want to teach you is how do you run more instances, right? Rollbacks and stuff like that. Right now, we only have one instance. If we go back to that manifest, you can see that we only have one instance running. So let's say that we want to run 2 instances. Well, let's go back over here. All we have to do is in our replica count in the values.yaml, the replica count, this is the number of instances you actually want. I'm gonna just say I want 2 instances. Control save this, go back over here. Now, before we do anything, clear this out. Oops. I want to start all over again. So what I'm gonna do is just say Helm. Helm uninstall uninstall, and we want to uninstall the node server, the name of the application we gave it, right? Oops, what? Uninstall. All right. Now, if I run that manifest again, it's going to say, hey, that we don't have any servers or what's it called? Names of node server, which is good. That means that I just deleted it. Now I'm gonna just run that install again, node server, and there we go. We've installed it. If I do the manifest, you're gonna see that, hey, we have two of them available now, 2 services available for our application. And if I go to this port now, the port changes. So if I go to this port, we should see our application run. If I refresh it, obviously it's not going to run because it's not in that port. There we go. Now it's running, right? Look at that. It's good. But there you go. Look at that. Just one simple change and you have 2 instances running. Now obviously this is kind of bad to, uninstall it, because now you're shutting down your whole application, which means that the internet doesn't have your application no more, which means that users are going to be confused and all that, which we don't want. We actually want to, let's say that we want to upgrade it to 5 instances without shutting down our application at all. Let me actually teach you that. Let's go back to the file. Let's actually change this to 5, right? We're having so much traffic that we need to change it to 5 instances now. Now, all we need to do here is just say Helm upgrade, and then the node server. Remember, just give it the name that you gave it before, which is the node server. You want to upgrade the node server application, and we're going to be using the charts of node server, right? You still need to tell it what chart you want to be using. You hit enter. It says that, hey, release node server has been upgraded. If you go to the manifest again, you're going to see that, hey, we have 5 instances running, which is great. It didn't clear anything out. It didn't shut down our application. It actually just kept our application running. It just added 3 more to it. That is it. And our IP is still the same. Look at this, 31149. If we go back to the browser, 31149. If I refresh, it's still up and running. It did not crash it, which is really good. I mean, it did not shut it down, which is really, really good, right? Now, let's say that you want to actually, like, okay, we don't have that much traffic no more. We don't want to be spending too much money on these services, on the 5 services. Let's just bring it back to 2. Let's just go back to 2. Now, there's a simple way to do this. Obviously, you could go back over here and just type 2 in here and do the upgrade. But there's actually another way we could do it. Let's say that you want to roll back to the previous way you had it, right? If you do Helm history and then type in the application node server, it'll give you the history that for node server. We have 2 revisions, the first one and the second one. Obviously, the first one was the one that had 2 services, and the second one was 5. If we want to revert back to the revision number 1, all we have to do is say Helm roll back node server, and we want to, make sure you spell node right. We want to roll back to the revision number 1. Hit enter, and there you go. Rollback was a success. If I do that manifest, you're going to see that, hey, we have 2 services right there and then. Obviously, we go roll back to reversion number 2. So by doing number 2 again, number 2, and there you go. We have 5 again. That's pretty cool, right? It's awesome, man. Using Helm and Kubernetes together is really, really good. Anyways, guys, that's a little bit about Helm and Kubernetes, and we've actually deployed our application using Kubernetes. In the next video, we're going to be adding support for our health, meaning that if a service does go down, restart it. Tell us about it, but restart it, okay? We're going to have that support as well. We're going to add it to our Kubernetes setup. So that's going to be in the next video. So stay tuned for that, guys. I hope you liked this video. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below. Also, guys, I do want to thank you for watching my videos. I really do appreciate you spending your time watching my videos. It does mean a lot to me. So thank you, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.